morning. I had less than 2 hours of sleep. I'm so exhausted. But there is a hurricane coming towards Louisiana right now. And anyone who deals with hurricanes knows how stressful that can be. And I don't have a generator. And when it's really hot, that's like so annoying. Oh, I'm exhausted. Sorry. I don't know if it's like the change of pressure in the weather, like when the hurricane is coming towards the state, or what's going on, but I could not sleep, or if it's like all the anxiety from all the people around you in the area that you pick up on, and if maybe that's why I can't sleep, because I'm very sensitive to both things, which just makes it worse because, like if the power goes out, it's going to be hard to sleep at all because it's going to be so hot. So I really wanted to get sleep before the storm came. But yeah, then it's always stressful right before hurricanes too, because everyone goes and fills up their cars with gas, and then they fill up tanks of gas, they fill up generators, and they're always really long lines, and gas stations running out of gas like so quickly, and prices are like, I found it luckily, like I had to go to a more expensive gas station than I normally would have, way more expensive, but luckily I was already at 3/4 tank before that. Thank goodness. But then you go to the store to try and get water, and of course all the water was sold out last night. Most of the food, luckily being vegan, nobody buys my food, so I did find bread because they bought all the kind of bread they eat, and I did find some like vegan chili. A lot of the other canned food was gone, and my children won't eat like vegetables from a can. I mean, I say they don't, but 2 of them will eat like peas and green beans, sometimes corn, but the other one doesn't eat it at all, and so that's annoying. You have to get like hurricane snacks, and the hardest part for me is not breaking into the hurricane snacks. And as soon as we got home last night, that's what we all wanted to do. And I kept telling them, don't eat it. Yeah, who broke into the hurricane snacks? I shared, but still, like, oh man, it's not even supposed to hit until I think tomorrow morning. And I was already breaking into them last night. And we're gonna be here today, so who knows how that's gonna go. That's so hard. Because, like, for the hurricanes, I always buy a bunch of crap I never would. Like, you have to buy stuff that you don't need to cook. It's a lot of junk food, prepackaged crap. That's frustrating, especially when I already gained a lot of weight back. And yesterday, before I found out about this, I was like, I'm gonna eat better. And then the hurricane's coming. I'm like, that's funny because in 2020, we had the worst hurricane in my area in 100 years. And I was like so into this fitness thing, and like you have to eat what you have, which was hurricane snacks. Oh, it was so frustrating. But also in 2020, I did evacuate for the first hurricane. And the second hurricane, I did not evacuate. I know there was a third hurricane in my state that year, but that was on the other side of the state. My side of the state, we had 2 that year. And we had the worst one that year of everyone. And it was horrible. Anyway, and the temperatures that year were in the hundreds above it. the heat index was super high, and I had no generator. So I had left for a week and went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when I came back, so many trees were still down. All the power was still out. Gas stations had no gas. And I stayed one night. It was super hot, and I lived in a mobile home at that time. And when it's that hot outside and you have no generator, like, it was just like we were cooking inside of an oven. It was just horrendous. Luckily for the next hurricane, I had moved into a house, so it wasn't as horrible. It was still hot, it was still uncomfortable, but the power wasn't out a month that time. It was out like 2 weeks, and again, it wasn't as hot as in the mobile home, so that was good. What's crazy about like a lot of other natural disasters is like they're more rapid. Like tornadoes, for example, you don't know too far in advance if you're gonna get hit. So there's not like this anticipation that's like a dragged out long thing, and there's definitely no hurricane snacks to break into. And no one like taking all the gas. I mean, maybe people do take gas to try to leave for tornadoes, but when I've had tornado warnings, I've never seen people doing that. I just see people go like to shelter, which is also frustrating in Louisiana because in tornadoes and hurricanes, but in tornadoes, we don't have shelters. We don't have basements because our state is below sea level. So, yeah, tornadoes, that can be hard, especially when I was in mobile home, because where do you go? What do you do? And you're like lifted off the ground already, so it's already more terrifying and dangerous. But yeah, luckily now I'm in like a brick house, and I was for that second hurricane in 2020. It was a different house than this one, but this house is actually safer. So, and this hurricane is way smaller than the ones that hit in 2020. So it should be just like a storm, a bad storm probably, but the power I'm expecting will go out, which is the most frustrating part. But this house has better windows and stuff than the last place I was in, so maybe it'll be not as torturous. I don't know. But I know during 2020, when we had the worst hurricane in 100 years, and I went to Tulsa, people were saying, "Why are you here? Visit for vacation." And everyone I would talk to had no idea there was a hurricane. And that was a really bad one. Like, it destroyed Lake Charles. I don't live in Lake Charles, but going down there after, it was awful seeing that. Yeah, so I just wanted to let everyone know about this hurricane coming to Louisiana in case you don't know or care. But pray that I don't eat all the hurricane snacks. And if you pray, wish me well in your good thoughts, please. And also that the power doesn't stay out too long, because it's also really boring when you don't have power for weeks at a time. Really boring. I probably need batteries for my flashlights. I should probably look into that today. But everyone have a good one. You know, I thought of this video in the middle of the night and I had ways to make it funny, but I'm just too exhausted for that. So, it is what it is. Bye. Live your life to the fullest.